A girl is dead, a boy's responsible, but that's not the scariest part. The real danger? There's probably someone like that boy and that girl in your life, and you have no idea they're struggling or how to help them. I'm clinical psychologist Dr. Ali Mattu. For the past 15 years, I've worked with boys like Jamie, the central character behind Netflix's Adolescence. That experience has given me a unique window into how we're raising boys. And I've come to believe that we've set up an entire generation to fail, not through violence, but through isolation, numbness, and shame. Shame that they're not good enough, that if they ask for help, they'll be punished, and that no one will love them for who they are. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 moments from adolescence that reveal something important about masculinity and what we can do about it. But before we dive in, there's 2 things. First, I'm not spoiling the show, but honestly, it's kind of unspoilerable. Second, I'm not unpacking how the series depicts girls and women. The show is largely uninterested in how male violence impacts women, and that is a serious flaw. At the same time, I'm keeping my focus on how masculinity impacts boys, and I'll explain why in a moment. Number 1, boys don't know who they should be. In episode 3, when the psychologist asks Jamie, "Do you think women are attracted to you?" he doesn't even pause. No, of course not. I'm ugly. The moment really cracks open what Jamie thinks about himself. It's painfully clear that he believes he's worthless. When I was his age, I felt the same way. I was convinced I was disgustingly ugly, and I was obsessed with this idea that no girl would ever want to touch me. It literally kept me up at night. That's what happens during adolescence, this messy stretch of time between who you were, who you're becoming, and who you think you're supposed to be. And you're so desperate to try to get it right. Maybe you felt that way too, waiting for someone to hand you the playbook, how to make friends, how to be attractive, how to matter. But if you're already anxious or depressed as a teenager, that normal adolescent pressure, it becomes crushing. Most of the teenage boys I've worked with already think they're a waste of space. They don't think anyone cares about them, and they can't imagine a future where they ever will belong. And the data backs this up. Boys are more likely to be punished in school, they're more likely to drop out, and this is especially true of Black and brown boys. Men are the leaders in death of disease and death of despair, like suicide and overdose. These trends have been around for a long time. But now, men are less likely to go to college, they're less likely to form relationships, and they're less likely to find the types of jobs that used to launch those careers, because those jobs are disappearing. This means a lot of guys are stuck at home living with their parents. So what happened? Well, it used to be clear what it meant to be a good man. You were stoic, you endured, you competed, and you won. And if someone got hurt along the way, boys will be boys. But that version of masculinity didn't work for everyone. Like me, I was tall, yeah, but I was terrible at every single sport. I cried easily, and I avoided eye contact wherever I went. I was called more times than I can count. This narrow view of masculinity has been rightfully criticized. It hurt women and it suffocated men, especially those who are gay or from marginalized backgrounds. But here's the problem. We haven't created anything to replace it. There have been waves of feminist movements pushing forward what it means to be a woman. But there's been no equivalent reimagining of masculinity. Just the other day, I was at a park with my kids when a boy picked up a stick and pretended it was a sword. A nearby parent snapped, "That's toxic masculinity." This is a trap we keep falling into. Boys get criticized for acting the way boys have always acted, but no one is showing them a better way. It's like we tell boys, here's the ladder of masculinity, now just climb it. But the ladder is missing half the steps. And every time boys slip and fall, we say, you should have tried harder. Eventually, boys stop asking for help. They pretend falling doesn't hurt, and they start to believe that where they belong is at the bottom. That's what it feels like to grow up right now for boys. Psychologists call this gender role strain, and it is exhausting. What annoys me so much is whenever this topic comes up in progressive circles, the conversation gets shut down. Masculinity gets labeled as toxic, and the struggles of boys are dismissed. The only people who are consistently talking about this are conservatives. So are we surprised why so many young men were pulled towards Donald Trump? The right was handing out a playbook. The left was still debating whether boys should even have one. But that conservative playbook, it's just the same old script. Get fit, increase your body count, never show weakness, make money, endure pain. It offers power and control, but no path to connection, no path to meaning, and no path to love. And the truth is, those qualities aren't even what most straight women are looking for anymore. So boys are left believing they're broken when in reality, they're trapped in a system that hasn't grown with them. Number 2. The internet is exploiting young men's confusion. In episode 4, Jamie's dad says he was just looking for gym content online when a video popped up about how to treat women. Most boys aren't hateful or dangerous. They're just trying to be better, to climb up that ladder, because this is what we've told them to do: improve, level up, be more. But the algorithm doesn't care about helping them to be better. All the algorithm wants to do is feed you content that keeps you plugged in. So it takes their shame and sells them rage. And each tap makes that trap tighter. Shame, search, rage, rejection. Shame, search, rage, rejection. I've experienced this myself. I created a dummy YouTube account to better understand what my audience might be watching. I started by subscribing to a few popular mental health creators: Healthy Gamer, Katie Morton, and Therapy in a Nutshell. Then I clicked on the first video YouTube recommended. First up were those lonely miracle morning self-care routines. Then some angry Jordan Peterson videos telling me to make my bed. Next up, Tucker Carlson explaining why there's no jobs for men. Then a bunch of charisma guys telling me how to transform myself. And then finally, red pill content, pushing me to black pill content. No searching, no subscribing. I was just following where the algorithm took me. Within a few hours, the account was fully converted to the manosphere. I honestly get the appeal. The content works because it speaks to shame. Then it gives you some enemies: society, women, chats. It gives you a plan, how to finally become confident. But the plan is a trap. You don't walk away with confidence, you walk away with rage. Rage at yourself for failing to transform, and rage at the world for making you feel like you had to. If I were 13, I would have probably been consumed by this content too. I already believed no girl would ever want to touch me. The way male anxiety works is we get stressed out about a problem and then we deploy everything we can to try to fix it. And if we can't fix it, we try to crush it. So yeah, I would have sought out the same content and would probably have started to believe I was an incel too. Millions of boys are just trying to improve themselves, trying to climb up that broken ladder, and the internet is turning all of their efforts into fuel for rage. Number 3, boys have nowhere to go. In the show, we hear teachers yelling, "Put your phones away." And later, Jamie's mom says, "We thought he was safe in his room." The show points to the dangers of screens, but let's not just blame phones. We've lost our third spaces. Third spaces are the places outside your home, outside of school and work, where people get together. This is where boys used to go to figure things out, to mess up, to test themselves, to get feedback, to improve. And most of those places are gone. When I was a kid, I went to the mall, I went to the arcade, and every now and then my friends and I would get dropped off at Great America, this tiny little theme park about 20 minutes away from my home. But today, malls are closed, arcades are gone, and when I recently took my kids to Great America, there were signs posted all over the place. Under 16 must be with an adult. This is a big reason why that masculinity ladder leads to nowhere. The spaces where boys used to grow, explore, and evolve, they're mostly gone. If you're a boy that's not into sports, there's nowhere to go but online. And online is just not the same. Social media doesn't just reflect your social status, it quantifies it. It shows you in real time exactly how excluded you are. Then there's online disinhibition. The way we say and do things online that we would never do face to face. We just don't have eye contact online, and that is what slows us down. It's that shared humanity that keeps us accountable. And in video games and anonymity takes it even further. I've had so many boys who started saying really hateful comments, not because they believed him, but because everyone was just saying them on Fortnite. At school, connection is policed. At home, it's lonely, so boys connect online. I honestly don't know what I would have done if I was a teenager today. In 11th grade, I made a parody commercial about the pain reliever Bengay. It was wildly homophobic. At the time, I thought it was hilarious, but no one laughed, and that made me feel awful. But I am so grateful it's gone. No video, no screenshots, it's just this buried memory. I got to learn from my mistake. I wasn't canceled for it. It didn't make me suicidal. Teenagers today don't get that luxury. We've created this world where everything is documented and where your dumb mistakes can be broadcast to the entire world. Number 4. Boys are growing up without good role models. In the final episode, Jamie's dad recalls what it was like to take his son to football practice, or soccer for the Americans. Jamie wasn't any good. The other dads laughed at him. And when Jamie looked up at his dad looked away in shame. I couldn't look at my own son, he says. That line shattered me because it's a story of so many dads trying to help their sons, but not knowing how, often because they've never had good role models themselves. What gets passed down isn't guidance, it's silence, it's shame, it's rejection. Boys need mentors, someone to show them how to be a man, a friend, a partner, a dad. But many don't have that. And if they do, they're handed that same broken ladder. My dad was great in so many ways, affectionate, present, supportive. But I only saw him cry 3 times during my entire childhood, and each one involved death. And the one time I cried in front of him, he slapped me and said, "Boys don't cry." It's the only time he ever hit me, and it's a moment that has stuck with me forever. Even a kind, emotionally available man like my dad has been shaped by a world that told him some feelings, they're off limits. Number 5, we need a revolution in masculinity. The show ends with Jamie's dad tucking in his son's teddy bear, whispering, "I'm sorry, son. I should have done better." I can't stop thinking about that moment. It's not just about loss. It's about masculinity done differently. It's about softness, about accountability, about love not expressed through silence or stoicism, but through tenderness. What we need now is a revolution in masculinity. Not a violent one, but a wide open conversation about what it means to be a man. One that invites everyone in. We don't need to erase masculinity. We need to open it up, so more of us can breathe inside of it. For me, everything changed not when I got bigger or stronger or more successful, but when I had a high school teacher, Mr. Keller, who helped me feel good about who I already was. That's where the transformation begins. Not with self-improvement, but with self-acceptance. You don't need a doctorate to do that. You don't need to be a teacher. You just need to take interest. Spend time with the boys in your life. Listen to them. Play video games together. Watch what they want to watch. Be curious. Be present. Help them to find a place in the real world where they feel like they belong. And if you're a young man watching this feeling lost or worthless, listen closely. I want to give you the playbook I use every day in my own life. Masculinity gives you strength, and your job is to use that strength in the service of others. That might mean helping a neighbor carry groceries, or it might mean standing up for someone that gets interrupted, or doing your job with integrity so the people around you can thrive. And if you don't feel strong yet, help someone close to you. Maybe a parent, maybe a sibling, maybe a neighbor. Work on becoming strong enough to stand up on your own, strong enough to help others. Then look around. I guarantee you there is someone who needs your help. Every school, every neighborhood has a Jamie. Most of them aren't violent, but a lot of them hate themselves. If we want to change how their story ends, we need to write the next chapter of masculinity together. If you want to see how my own masculinity kept me from loving my son when he was born and what I did to change all that, watch this video next.